Hi everyone, and welcome back to FPL team selection for Double Game Week 19. We are the FPL Duo. Another stream for you guys today. We'll be discussing our teams for Game Week 19, looking at potential transfers that we're going to make, and also very quickly talk about captaincy picks as well. So, without any further ado, we'll get into it. Just got to ask, how you doing, Jordan? Is everything good? And
Yeah, everything's good. It's New Year's Day, so this is our first stream in 2023, and it's going to be an interesting one on who we obviously go forward towards Double Game Week 19.
Yeah, just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. And let's get into the video. If you are just joining the stream, guys, as always, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to our channel if you are new. But Game Week 19 is, well, tomorrow. The deadline's tomorrow. So got to put this stream out for you guys. So let's show you guys what my team looks like currently. So this is what my team looks like right now. I do have 2 free transfers for, as you guys can see, and I also have 0.3 million in the bank. So I did roll in game week 17. Game week 18, I rolled my transfer. So that allows me to have 2 transfers to play with. So in goal, I've got Danny Ward, who's got Fulham at home. I've got a back 3 of Ben White, Trippier, and Cancelo. I've got a midfield 5 of Mason Mount, Mo Salah, Saka, Martinelli, and Rashford. Then up front, I've got Haaland and Martial. That is the bus team currently. And on the bench, I've got Everson, Greenwood, Patterson, and Reece James, who is still obviously injured. Now, 2 free transfers. There's a few thoughts I've had that I could potentially do. And the first one, obviously, is actually to remove Martial. And Martial actually has a very good fixture, Bournemouth at home. I could see him scoring in that game. But we also know that Mitrovic has a double game week against Leicester and Chelsea. So I am tempted to bring in Mitrovic and take out Martial. So that's one of the moves I've been contemplating. And then the other one, I've got to take care of Reece James, because I think the Reece James injury, obviously, he's taken up a lot of money in that defense. So my plan was to downgrade him to someone like a Cucurella or even a Luke Shaw, who I think is a good pick long term. So you could go to Luke Shaw, but all in all, that is the team. 2 free transfers, and I'm going to quickly talk about the defense. So Ben White has Newcastle, and I think that's all. I don't expect a clean sheet in that game, if I'm honest. I think Newcastle will probably score. Same with Trippier. I think Trippier, I don't expect a clean sheet the way Arsenal are playing. Arsenal away as well at the Emirates. So I can see Newcastle conceding, but hopefully Trippier can carry on with his clean sheets and with his bonus points that he's getting through the assists, etc. Now Cancelo is the other one in my team that I'm not sure actually what to do with him, because he's got Chelsea away in game week 19 and he's been benched for the last 2 games, and that is a worry for me with Cancelo. The fact that he seems to have fallen out of favor of Pep, so he could be one that you could look to sell, guys, potentially for Cucurella. And he does worry me having to play him in game week 19. Mason Mount is in my team. I'm quite happy that I've got him because he's got Man City at home and then Fulham away. He is a doubler, so I think a lot of people will be looking to bring in Mason Mount because of the double game week. I think the Fulham fixture is nice. I think City will be tough. I don't know I don't expect him to beat Man City. He is at home for them, so you'd expect Chelsea to put in a good fight. But yeah, I think Mason Mount, as we mentioned in the previous video, the transfer tips video, that he is a buy for us. So he's in my team. Salah's got Brentford away. I think it's a decent fixture for him to get back to scoring ways, and hopefully he can do the business tomorrow. That is Monday Night Football for Liverpool. And moving on to the Arsenal boys, I've got Saka and Martinelli against Newcastle. Now, Newcastle are playing very well. I was looking at the stats for Newcastle. Statistically, Newcastle are one of the best defenses in the league. I believe first or second, they're up there. So it's not going to be easy for Arsenal to put. I don't expect 2-3 goals from them like they did against Brighton. I think Newcastle will be a lot meaner to get through. So double Arsenal attack, I don't expect much, but hopefully Saka or Martinelli, any of them could get a goal. I do like Odegaard as well. So for those that do own Martin Odegaard, I'm a bit jealous because I think at his price range, he's very, very good value for money. Marcus Rashford's got Bournemouth at home as well, and I think that's a great fixture for him. So you just carry on holding him. He's got, he was benched, but obviously that was for disciplinary reasons in the last game. But Eric Ten Hag, I said, that's past him now, and he should be back fit and starting for that Bournemouth fixture at Old Trafford. And then obviously Haaland's got Chelsea away. Whether you captain him is going to be another big discussion point. You could go for a doubler like Mitrovic or Mount or Havertz potentially, or do you go for the tried and trusted Erling Haaland? It's going to be interesting to know who people go with the captain pick in Game Week 19, Double Game Week 19. I want to ask you guys in the comments, on the chat as well. Let me know who you guys are captaining. Are you going to go for Haaland or are you going to go for a Double Game Week player? Let me know in the chat. It'll be nice to hear your thoughts. And then Martial is my planned transfer out. So just to recap, I got 2 free transfers, 0.3 million in the bank, and I'm going to take out Martial and I'm going to take out Reece James. So those are the 2 moves. So let me just do that with the slide. So Martial and Reece James are removed, as you guys can see, by the lovely graphics made by Jordan. And we're bringing in Mitrovic and Cucurella. And I'm going to start Cucurella. So that is the current thinking, guys. So Martial to Mitrovic, I did do that move last night just to avoid the price rise. So I have bought in Mitrovic already. He was 7 million last night. So I did Martial to Mitrovic. I had the exact money to do it. So that was done for 7 million. And then this morning, I was contemplating who to bring in. And I think Cucurella, with this double game week against Man City and Fulham, could be an option. This could have been Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's got a nice fixture against Bournemouth at home. And I think Luke Shaw is a pretty decent long-term hold. The only worry with Cucurella, he feels very short-term. So I may not go to Cucurella, but I do like that fact that he has a double game week. So that is the thinking. Cucurella and Mitrovic, and that leaves me with 0.5 million in the bank as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how many doublers people have. So I've got 3 in my team. But yeah, let's get into Mitchell. Why I bought Mitrovic in. So Mitrovic, there is a slight worry with him that he has a yellow card. He's 1 yellow card away from missing a game suspension. So that is a slight worry with Mitrovic. If he gets booked against Leicester, he will miss Chelsea. But I'm going to take that risk. That he does walk that yellow card tightrope, and hopefully he doesn't get booked in that Leicester game. And then anything in Chelsea, and I think people may be worried with Mitrovic. Is it a good double? But in my opinion, Leicester and Chelsea, that is a really good double for Fulham. I wouldn't put it past Mitrovic to score against Chelsea because, as we've seen this season, Mitrovic has done it pretty much against any team. He's done it against Liverpool, where he scored against Liverpool. I believe he scored against Arsenal as well, hasn't he? So yeah. I don't think it's that bad of a fixture for him. I think he can score against Leicester, and I don't see why he can't get a penalty or something like that against Chelsea. So yeah, I think a doubler. I wanted him in my team. Whether I'd captain Mitrovic, probably not. As you can see, I am worried in case he gets the yellow card. So I wouldn't go captain Mitrovic. I think that's one you have to be careful on. But I have gone Mason Mount as my captain, guys. So the vice captain's on Haaland for now. But Mason Mount captain, who's got Man City at home and then Fulham away. Let me know what you guys think of captaining Mason Mount. Should I go there? But that's what I'm siding towards right now. Mason Mount as a captain. And that is the current team for Game Week 19, Double Game Week 19. I've used both my free transfers. I've got 0.5 million in the bank as well for Game Week 20. And on the bench, I've got Everson, Patterson, Ben White, and Greenwood. Obviously, I've benched Ben White. I could actually play Ben White or Patterson instead of Cancelo closer to the deadline. So that is another decision I'll have to make. But that is the current idea and thinking behind my team is Martial and Reece James out for Mitrovic and Cucurella. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm going to read a few comments out and then we're going to move to your team, Jordan, and discuss your plans for Double Game Week 19.
Yep.
Never give up FPL. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Hope everyone has a lovely 2023. Carl Valencia. I'm going Martinelli to Sterling. Sterling captain. Thoughts? Interesting. I like Sterling as a pick. I think he's a good differential to have. But the worry is you'd probably want Martinelli back somehow in the after game week 20. So I like Sterling, but I'd want Martinelli back. So unless you have plans on the way to bring these Arsenal assets back in, I would do it. But I don't know about taking Martinelli out, especially if you've got value tied up in him. I'd be wary. But I do like Sterling as a 1 week punt. What's your thoughts, Jordan?
Yeah, it's different. Definitely different than going hard on captain, as I think most people will still, despite the double game weeks. But I think I'd still want Martinelli in the team. I'd rather swap Sterling out for someone else rather than Martinelli, because I would imagine he's a long-term hold for the way Arsenal are at the moment in terms of their form.
Okay, fair enough. Got another comment from Lils. Thank you for subscribing. Who should I start out of Kepa, Cody, Castagne, Trippier, Andreas, Martinelli, De Bruyne, Rashford, Haaland, Mitrovic, Kane, and Ward? Saka, White, Gurhi. That's a bit of a benching headache. In goal, you've got to start Kepa because he's got the double game week. I think it's easier to say who you would bench. Probably Cody. Cody Castagna probably needs to be benched, and Gurhi. So you play. No, sorry. Cody Castagna will have to be benched, I believe. You play Andreas, you play Martinelli, you play De Bruyne, you play Rashford, you play Haaland, Mitrovic, Kane. You play Saka. Yeah. You play White as well, probably. Who do Palace actually play in game week 19? I'm just going to double check because I don't have Palace's fixtures in front of me. Bench Palace play Spurs. So yeah, I'd bench Gurhi as well. So yeah, I think that's easy. You just bench Gurhi, you bench Ward, you bench Castagna, and you bench Cody as well. Anyway, Jordan, let's get into your team. Talk us through your team and transfer plans, and also your captain pick at the end.
Okay, so this is how my team looks like going forward. Obviously, I have Edison in goal, who's got Chelsea away. Seems like going to be a challenging fixture for Man City. Whether they keep a clean sheet or not is another question, because they are conceding a lot of goals recently, especially the last goal they conceded to Everton, which should leave them a draw in that one. So it's not knowing what Man City come out with when they play against Chelsea away. It would be interesting to see. Next, we have the defence. We've got the back three of Cancelo, who's got obviously Chelsea away. I'm not too sure what Pep is going to do with Cancelo. Is he going to start him or not? This will be the third time if he isn't going to start Cancelo. So it will be pretty worrying if he doesn't make the starting 11 against Chelsea away, as it's a very tough fixture. And I think if Pep wants to keep in this title race, he might want to consider bringing on players like Cancelo in starting 11, because he's going to need a full strong team against Chelsea away, because that won't be an easy walk in the park for him. Next, we've got Trippier, who's got Arsenal away. It's pretty much, there's a lot of clashes in these fixtures, but I don't think it matters much what happens with Trippier, if he gets a clean sheet or not, because he is highly owned by many owners. So I don't think it matters much whether Newcastle keep a clean sheet or not in that game. I doubt they will against Arsenal, the way they're playing. Their attack is pretty relentless, but Newcastle do have one of the best defences, so maybe there is a draw in that game potentially. Next, we got Luke Shaw, who's got Bournemouth at home. Quite happy with Luke Shaw's performances in the previous two games against Nottingham Forest and Wolves away. He's been pretty good keeping this clean sheets and getting the bonus points. And with Bournemouth at home, I don't see why he can't repeat the same as he did in those two previous fixtures. It's a home fixture at Old Trafford, and with Bournemouth struggling in this Premier League, you can almost guarantee that Man United keep a clean sheet. I'd be very surprised if they don't keep one against Bournemouth. But yeah, I'm very looking forward to that game. Moving on to the midfield. So we've got four midfielders. We start off with Martinelli, who's got Newcastle at home. This obviously clashes with Trippier, who has obviously Arsenal. So they do play each other, which kind of creates a dilemma because there's a lot of players that do play each other in game week 19, unfortunately. But I guess we just have to go with that, as it might be low scoring just because of that, but we just have to hope for the best, I think, for that. Mane has been on great form though for Arsenal. He's been scored in his last match, and depends what you could do against our Newcastle. It may be a tougher challenge to score against Newcastle, who are look pretty good in defence, but we'll see what happens. And next we've got Almiron, who's got obviously Arsenal away, so it's like Martinelli versus Almiron in this double game week 19. Whoever goes on top will probably get the points. I don't think both of them will. I think one or the other will do well in that fixture, but it'll be a very exciting fixture to watch, especially between those two teams. Next, we've got Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, who obviously both have Bournemouth at home, and that completes the triple up on Man United. Quite happy that Fernandes did get an assist from his last game, and Rashford scoring despite only playing the 45 minutes in that game against Wolves. He should start, obviously, Rashford next game. It was only disciplinary for being late. So Ten Hag is a bit strict on players who are late to either training or meetings. So it should be a good start for Rashford, potentially captain worthy, as he is Bournemouth at home. So maybe some people do go towards that avenue. But yeah, it's a great fixture for Man United, and happy that I own triple up on Man United. And finally, moving on to the front three, we've got Nketiah, who has Newcastle at home. He's got back-to-back goals from his last two fixtures, which is nice. Don't know if he can do it against Newcastle at home, but you never know. He has been a great differential pick for me with those two goals behind him. And yeah, it'll be definitely won't be high scoring in that fixture. We'll just have to see what happens. It might be quite a close game, but yeah, we'll see if Nketiah can score 3 times in a row. Next, we've got Haaland, who's got Chelsea away. Man City did draw against Everton, surprisingly 1-1. So maybe they focus on this Chelsea away fixture, as it isn't going to be easy at all. It's going to be pretty tricky for them to score past Chelsea, as they're going to try and stop them as much as they can. Obviously, Haaland in particular has the dangerous goal threat, as we've all seen. And yeah, hopefully Haaland can still keep his goal streak going. And finally, we've got Darwin Núñez, who has Brentford away. It's probably the most frustrating FPL asset you could probably own in your team at the moment, just because of how many chances Darwin has missed and had received. But for Brentford away, it could be a good fixture for him where he does get a nice return. I mean, there ain't going to be many returns, if I'm honest, for many players in this team. So I do hope Darwin can do something against Brentford away, hopefully put his chances finally into the net and score. But without Ivan Toney, that may affect Brentford. So that's probably a good thing that Liverpool will go forward with in that fixture. So that is my starting 11 for the current moment. I do have on my bench Danny Ward, who's got Fulham at home, Ben White, who's got Newcastle at home, and Castagna, who's got Fulham at home, and Rodrigo, who's got West Ham at home. And I got 2 free transfers with 1.9 million in the bank. And yeah, we'll just talk through what I think I'm going to go forward with in double game week 19. So I'll just move on to the next slide so I can show you my transfer plans. So obviously I'm taking Cancelo out. He is obviously disappeared. He's no longer there. My reason for this is because I already have Edison, and I don't see any reasoning why I should keep Cancelo, especially being benched twice now for Man City, and especially not coming on at all for that Everton game was even more worrying. So he is going to be taken out from my team potentially going forward as Double Game 19. I already have Edison, which was the original plans to keep Edison and not have Cancelo. And I think this is the right time now to take Cancelo out, I believe. And I'm going to bring in Lewis Dunk, who has Everton away. This is probably a weird transfer decision, as I've not gone with any double game week players. And obviously, Lewis Dunk is a single game week player. But it's also because he's cheap comparably to Cancelo, who was expensive. As you can see, it does leave me 4.3 million in the bank getting rid of Cancelo. And my reasoning behind that is after Man United go against Bournemouth at home, obviously in the next game week, they have a tougher fixture and their fixtures start to swing. So with that money available, I'll potentially take Bruno Fernandes out and bringing Kevin De Bruyne, as I think going with Man City attackers is more favourable and more nailed ones like KDB to go forward with, as they do have doubles coming up as well for Man City, and I want to be ready for those. So that is my reasoning for taking out Cancelo and bringing in Lewis Dunk, as I'm not a fan of the double game weeks, if I'm honest, especially for Chelsea. I'm not a fan of Chelsea assets at all, as well as Fulham ones. I could go for Andreas, but I think I'm just going to ignore the double game week matches that are in 19 and just go forward with the single game week players and see if Brighton can keep a clean sheet against Everton away, because I think it's a good fixture for them. Brighton haven't looked great in defence, but it is Everton. And even though they did draw to Man City, I still think Brighton can keep a clean sheet against Everton, even though it's an away fixture. And that's why I bought Duncan. I still have one free transfer, which I'm going to probably roll, obviously, in the next game week. So, yeah, I'm only using one free transfer going forward into double game week 19.
Yeah, I was just highlighting this comment from Carl. Have you thought about taking Bruno out for someone like a Sterling, which will be a big differential as well? Sterling with a double game week, who is around that awkward price range where most people can't get to. Have you thought about Fernandes to someone like Sterling to have a doubler, or?
No, not contemplated it at all, if I'm honest, because Fernandes has Bournemouth at home. If I was to get rid of Fernandes and bring in Sterling, it just wouldn't suit right for me, if I'm honest, bringing in Sterling. I don't have, for me personally, there's no real reason for me to take out Fernandes, who has probably the best fixture of that game week, and bringing in Sterling, who doesn't have the best double game week. I mean, one is against Man City, for one
Former
thing.
team.
I don't know what Chelsea can do against that. And obviously then they got an easy fixture in the second one. But yeah, I just feel like Chelsea won't do well in both of those double game week fixtures, and it will potentially just be one they do well in, even though it's beneficial, even though they won't get a return like Sterling. If Sterling just plays 90 minutes, he gets 2 points, then it is 2 points extra than Fernandes might get if he does blank as well.
Fair enough. So I see you've gone Haaland captain as well. Are you pretty set on stone? You're going to captain a single game week Haaland against Chelsea away?
Oh, absolutely. Especially when Chelsea are playing each other against Man City. It's very rare that both attacking players do well. You normally see one do well better than the other. And because Mason Mount is playing against Haaland, I feel like Haaland's going to be the man coming on top of that. I don't think Mason Mount, it's probably going to eat my words saying this, but I don't think Mason Mount will do much in that game. I think Haaland would produce more of a return in that fixture.
Fair enough. Well, I've gone Mason Mount as a captain, more so because I'm seeing that Man City game as a bonus. So he plays Fulham, right? To go back to my team. So he plays Fulham, and I'm seeing it as a single in that sense. If he could do it against Fulham and then City, anything on top is a bonus for me. So hopefully, that's my thinking anyway behind it. We've gone quite different with captain picks, which is good. I think it helps break the template a bit. And yeah, let us know who you guys are captaining as well. It'll be interesting to know. We've got Jenny Berry. Yeah, Jenny Berry. Mason Mount, a great choice for captain. Yeah, I've gone Mason Mount captain. But Carl Valencia says Mount playing quite deep, which is why I prefer Sterling. I have 2.5 million in the bank, so it's an easier if you're short on cash. Yeah, I think Sterling is a good pick as well for those that want to bring a Chelsea asset in. I think Havertz as well could be decent. So either way, you can really play it. Bassam says I'll captain Haaland or Mitrovic. So quite split. Should I replace De Bruyne with Mo Salah? I'd probably hold if I had De Bruyne, if I'm honest. I think you got to hold De Bruyne just because De Bruyne has a double game week coming up soon as well. So you probably want him for that game, for that double. Is it in game week 20? I believe. The Man City double.
21.
21. I'm just going to check when Man City double. So Man City do double in game week 20, against Man United and Spurs. So literally next game week, De Bruyne has a double where Salah doesn't. So you may just want to hold on. See any other comments I've missed? Martin Football, Happy New Year. Should I use a wild card? I wouldn't be using a wild card. I don't think you need it. Your team looks pretty good. In terms of transfers to make, maybe you can bring in a Chelsea midfielder like a Mason Mount. If not, you could take out Darwin or Nketiah for Mitrovic as well, who has a double. So I'd be targeting the double game week players personally. If you haven't watched our transfer tips video from yesterday, after this video, do go watch our transfer tips video. It was a really good stream where we mentioned what players you should be looking to bring in for game week 19 and the players you should be selling, the players you'll be holding on to, all that stuff as well. Michael, Mitro or Haaland captain? I think it's an interesting one because Mitrovic, there is that slight worry that he could get a yellow card against Leicester and then he'll miss the Chelsea game. So I would probably sway towards Haaland still. But I can understand why. If you want to take that risk and go Mitrovic, I can see why you'd want to do it. Because I actually back Mitrovic. I think he can score in both those games. I don't think Chelsea's defense is that great that they can keep a clean sheet against Fulham because we've seen Mitrovic do it against pretty much anyone. And that Leicester game as well, I think Mitrovic can score. So I can see why you want to go Mitrovic, but there is that worry, the yellow card situation. So if you don't really, if that's not going to bother you, if he does get yellow in Leicester, then I think you could take that risk. But yeah, what's your thoughts, Jordan, with the yellow card situation?
Yeah, I think I'll go Haaland captain if I had to pick. I'm just afraid that if Mitrovic does score one goal in each of those fixtures and gets two, Haaland just needs to score 2 in that Chelsea game and potentially more on top of that to obviously swing obviously the rank. So it only takes 2 goals from Haaland unless Mitrovic scores a hat-trick in both of those fixtures to actually make it worthwhile in terms of your rank. Because if Haaland does better than Mitrovic in terms of those double game weeks, then your rank is going to be punished. That's the only thing. That's the only worry with Haaland because he's so highly owned. I still think his effective ownership
It's going to be
high.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what, in the top 10K or, what are people going for? Is Haaland still going to be very highly captained? I think he actually probably will be. So you got to bear that in mind as well, guys. Going against Haaland, we've seen it this season. It's not paid off at certain points, especially in game week 9. I think I captained Salah. It didn't pay off. So do bear that in mind. But City do look a bit. They didn't look great against. I watched the game against Everton. I think De Bruyne struggled a lot. So they're not looking at their peak optimum as we've seen in the previous season. So But Haaland can still score because that's the type of player he is. He only needs one chance and he can score. So do bear that in mind as well. But I always tend to side with the double game week. Maybe not in this case because of Mitrovic's yellow card. So that's why I've chosen to captain a Chelsea player. Also want to add, guys, there is about 20 of you in here. If you are enjoying the content, please don't forget to drop a like on the stream and also subscribe to our channel if you are new. So drop that subscribe button, hit it, whatever you need to do, like the stream, all that good stuff. And let me know. Also, actually, I got to ask Jordan a question because there's a comment that came in about Almiron from Vivek. Time to move on from Almiron with a question mark. What do you think of this one?
I don't know. I don't think it's time yet to move on from Almiron. I think we have to see what he does in the Arsenal game because he is on quite good form, Almiron. He did score a nice goal in his last game week, and he has literally been on fire so far for Newcastle. I wouldn't put Almiron aside yet, just because Newcastle at the moment are on a relentless form. It's pretty much same as Arsenal. They're both those teams are on great form, and players like Almiron, I think you want to keep in your team until you see a drop in form from him, obviously. But I think he's definitely a hold for me. I have to see what Almiron does against Arsenal, but for now, I think I'll keep.
Yeah, I'd probably hold on to Almiron. He's got Arsenal, which probably is a tougher game for Almiron and Newcastle. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does score against Arsenal, if I'm honest, the way he's playing. And then after that, he's got Fulham, Palace, West Ham, Bournemouth. So I'd be holding on to him personally. I don't own Almiron, but if I did, I'd probably hold. Dom, sometimes FPL destroys my mental health. Sold Nketiah for 0 points. Mitrovic and kept Walker for not bringing Shaw. Salah, KDB, Nunes didn't perform and I dropped around 600k rank. Yeah, I mean, it's been a funny all season. Even us, like, I feel like this is the hardest FPL season so far that I've had. I'm never usually like around the million rank at this stage, but it goes to show, sometimes, that's the way FPL goes, I guess. Sometimes, that's why I try not to take it like, let it affect me too much. But if you feel like it does, maybe you want to, like, I don't know, take a break from it or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's FPL sometimes for you. It's been annoying this season. I definitely understand where you're coming from. It's been it's been unpredictable this season for sure. Like players that we didn't expect to score, like players like Almiron popping up from nowhere. And, the more of the players like Trent, Salah, we started with a lot of these players. I did anyway. And it hadn't gone the way we probably wanted it. So, yeah. But hopefully you can carry on getting your green arrows. I mean, still a long way to go, guys. So if you're, around the million rank, around 500k, I wouldn't be too annoyed because you can definitely still finish in a good score and a good rank. So I wouldn't be too worried. Long way to go.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to the same issue of everyone struggling with rank. I think we're all pretty much in that similar area, so we can all understand each other that everyone is struggling to get a good rank this season.
But as I say, still we're not even halfway through the games, the fixtures, and a lot of doubles to come, wild cards and chips to use. So I'm hoping we can finish with a respectable rank anyway. GV, any Spurs striker they have done well against Man City away. I mean, there's Kane. Spurs do actually play in less than 10 minutes, so we are going to wrap the stream up very soon to go watch that game. But yeah, other than Kane, I don't really like any of the other assets. Kulusevski could become a good option once they double. I'm just looking at the Spurs fixtures here. I'm going to bring up who do Spurs play. But other than Harry Kane, Jordan, is there anyone else that really in Spurs that you looked for? Because for me, probably not. I mean, Spurs do have a double game week in game week 20. So they have Arsenal and City, but it's not a great double game week.
Only Kulusevski is the only alternative asset I'd probably pick from other than
And he's
Kane.
injured now, sorry. Just to mention, Kulusevski is not in the squad. He's injured today as well. So
then there is no other asset I would recommend from Spurs, unfortunately, because Kane and Kulusevski are the only ones that have really looked good at the moment for Spurs.
Yeah, without Kulusevski, that Spurs attack for me doesn't look as good. I think Kulusevski has been brilliant. He's a brilliant player, and he's made Spurs look more potent in attack. And Son has been struggling a lot. Harry Kane. I want to see how they do today. Obviously, without Kulusevski, they've got Brian Hill playing on the right wing. So I don't know what that's going to mean for Spurs, but I think there'll be a drop in form potentially in that attack because I don't rate Brian Hill as high as I do with Kulusevski. So we'll have to see if whether Son could get his form back as well. But for me, no, I wouldn't really go there. I think Kane is the only one that you could have, but I'd rather have Salah and Kevin De Bruyne ahead of Kane. But yeah. Hizami, good afternoon, guys. Long time no see. I have a benching problem at the moment. Cancelo, Trippier, Robbo. I mean, Robbo's injured, it's looking like, so he could miss out. So you might want to bench him. Patterson, James, Aspi Shaw. I don't know what you mean by Aspi Shaw. Oh, you mean you're going to transfer James out? Rashford, Salah, Saka, Martinelli, Andreas, Martial, Haaland, Mitro. You'll play Trippier, Cancelo, and probably Aspilicueta if you bring him in. Play Rashford, Salah, Saka, Martinelli, and Andreas as well. And then you probably have to bench Martial, as mad as that sounds. You might have to bench Martinelli as well. Like it's either Martinelli or Martial. Martial's got the better fixture. Who would you bench, Jordan, in this scenario? Would you bench Martial? Because I'm assuming you're not going to bench Mitrovic, who's got a double game week.
No.
Or you wouldn't want to bench Rashford, who's got Bournemouth, either. You could bench Martinelli or Martial, really. But I do hear that benching headache.
I mean, you can. Well, if you play the three forwards, Martial, Haaland, Mitro, and then play the five midfielders.
You know, 3-4-3, so you have to play four midfielders. So obviously the four midfielders you'll play Rashford, Salah, Saka, Martinelli. And you don't want to bench Andreas, who's got a double game week. So for me, I would be benching. I'd probably bench Martial. Honestly, I'd bench Martial. I think Martinelli's too good to bench. He's in top form, and Martial. I know he scored in game week 17, but he's the one I'd be looking to bench, even though they've got Bournemouth, and it's just one of those. If he scores, then it'll be painful, but I think that's the way you probably got to go. When should we double up on Arsenal attack again? I mean, I'm doubled up, Martinelli and Saka. If you are considering doubling up on Arsenal attack, maybe not this game week, because obviously they've got Newcastle, but I still believe Saka and Martinelli can both score against them, because the way Arsenal are playing, they look very, very good. And I wouldn't put it past Arsenal to now go on a bit of a run and, even win the league. So you can't rule it out. Arsenal are a legit team. I think Arsenal have been the best team this season, defensively and going forward. They look good. So Arsenal are the best team in the league. So you'd want triple or double for sure. But maybe game week 21, game week 22, where they got Everton, Brentford again. I don't think Arsenal's game is It depends whether you think they're going to carry on this form. I think they will. They will obviously lose or draw the odd game, but I expect them to now, push City to the last day now, unless something crazy happens with injuries. Newcastle will be tough for Arsenal, and hence benching Martinelli will be better. I mean, yeah, that is fair enough. Hizami. So we've got GV that says benching Martinelli could be better. You can really bench either one, but for me, I think Martinelli is playing better than Martial, so that's my thinking behind it. So, but it's up to you, obviously, ultimately in the end, what you decide to do.
Yeah, plus because Martinelli's highly owned as well, compared to Martial, who's the differential, I think it would hurt your rank more if Martinelli was benched.
Yeah, that's a good shout that I didn't think of actually. If Martinelli is very highly owned, so if he does score, that will affect your rank a lot more than Martial, who isn't as highly as owned. So, but then if Martial does score, it could be a bit of a green arrow for you. So, you got to weigh up the risk and reward really with that. Thank you guys, appreciate it. I'll bench Martial. Fair enough. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Hizami, for the comment. It helps out the channel so much. Yeah. If you are still watching, guys, I gotta say, please drop a like on the stream and help us get to 700 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button as well. Spurs are due to kick off in about 5 minutes, so we're gonna wrap the stream up and go watch that game, and we're gonna be back again actually. So we're back for another stream at 7 p.m. UK time. So join us at 7 p.m. to react to Game Week 18, where we talk about our scores from Game Week 18 and also look ahead to Game Week 19 and all that good stuff. So we are going to talk about all things Game Week 18 and our ranks, our scores, all that stuff. So do join us later today and subscribe so you don't miss out. Ring that notification bell so when we go live, you are notified. And yeah, we are going to wrap it up. So just want to say a big thank you to everyone that has watched the stream. Thank you for all your comments. It's been a very good stream. And we're back at 7 p.m. UK time, so don't miss out and do tune in for that one. Just say a happy new year to everyone as well, to all our viewers. It's been a crazy year. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for supporting the channel and everything. And it's been appreciated by us a lot. And we hope to grow the channel further in 2023. And hopefully we can go and hit bigger targets and carry on growing the community. So with that said, that is it from us today. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan, before we do wrap the video up?
Yeah, happy new year to everyone as well. Welcome to 2023. Hopefully you all have a good year in terms of in life and FPL. And yeah, obviously we obviously will see you later. It's a busy schedule for streams at the moment. So yeah, take care, guys. Enjoy the Spurs game and the rest of Game Week 18 as well.
Yep. Thank you for watching and see you later today. Thank you, guys. Peace out.